What's up everyone, welcome back to Just Finish Coding. This is part 8 of our full Pygame course on Python, so let's get coding.
Just finished coding.
Now quick interjection here, if you've not watched parts 1 to 7, please watch them before you come here because we're picking up from where we left off and you'll be very lost. I'll leave a card for you right here. Please watch the videos and then come right back. If you're still here, I'm going to assume that you've watched parts 1 to 7, in which case you should have most of your Space Invaders game set up. And what I'm going to be doing in this video is to set up both the explosion as well as the health bar. Let's get right into it. Before I get into the health bar, what I'm going to do is to make a couple of more colors set up right here. And that's because we're going to be using some of them in the health bar and I don't want to come here after we're down in our code. So the first color I'm going to set up is going to be green, and this is going to be within a tuple 0, 255, 0. No surprise, it's RGB, so that's pretty much the color code you'll need. Now I'm also going to set up the black color right here. So I'm going to say black is equal, and instead of 255, I'm just going to make all of them 0. Okay, and well, this is going to be your black color, and I'm just going to make sure it's all indented nice. Alright, so these two are the colors you'll need. You'll also need the red color, but I've already made it right here. So once you're done with those two, you can scroll down below to your starfighter's draw function, which is right here. So now I'm going to declare two more variables, and the first one is going to be self.health, and this is obviously going to contain the health of the starfighter at a particular time. And initially I'm going to set this to 5. And after this, I'm going to set up another variable, and this is going to be called health width. Okay, and this variable is going to be holding the width of a single health bar. And what I mean is, if you have a health of 5, your green bar is going to be pretty long, and if you have a health of 4, your green bar is going to be shorter. So basically the difference between a 5 health bar and a 4 health bar in terms of width is going to be what health width is. Now initially we'll just be using self.width divided by self.health. But obviously this will keep changing as well. Okay, so make sure you have this in place, and after this you can get into your draw function, and here's what you need to do. First, declare a variable called hit width, and this is going to be basically the length of the green health bar, if you want to call it, and initially this is what it's going to be. So I'm going to say self.width, okay, and I'm going to subtract from this 5 minus 5 minus self dot health, and I'm going to multiply this whole thing times times health width. Okay, so self dot health width. All right, and this is going to be our hit width. Now if you're a bit confused about this, that's fine. Basically what this is going to evaluate to is how much health we've lost, and this is going to evaluate to and these two things together is going to evaluate to how many width in terms of pixels we have to basically move from the right end of the health bar. And if we are subtracting that from the self.width, that's going to mean how much we need to move from the left or the beginning of the health bar to the end of the health bar, and thus we arrive at the length of the green health bar. Not too complicated. If you think about it, you will get it. Alright, so now it's time to draw 3 rectangles. So first one is going to be the red rectangle. So I'm going to say p.draw.rect. Okay, the surface is going to be win. Then our color is going to be red. Alright, and after that, as far as our rect is concerned, the x value is going to be self.x. Okay, the y value though, this is going to be self.y plus self.height. Okay, and to this we're going to add I'm going to go ahead with 10. Okay, but you can change this up a little bit depending on how much lower you want your health bar to go compared to your starfighter. Alright, so this is the height. Then we need to declare the width and the this is not the height, this is the y position, and then we have to declare the width and the height of the rectangle. Okay, so the width, I'm going to say obviously self.width, because our red rectangle is going to be spread out throughout, so regardless of how much the health is, the red one is going to be visible. It's just that the green rectangle is going to come on top of that. So self.width, and finally the height of this rectangle is just going to be self dot self dot health width. And finally, the height of the rectangle, I'm just going to say that is 15. Okay, and you can once again change this if you want. Okay, so that's going to be our red rectangle. Now we can duplicate this entire line, and in PyCharm it's easy, just press Ctrl D. And right here I'm going to make this change. Instead of self.width, I'm going to set it to be hit width. And I'm also going to change the color red to be the color green. Okay, and that is pretty much all you'll need in your green rectangle. And now it's time to draw your black rectangle. So things are going to be a little bit different here. And instead of self.x, I'm going to say self.x plus 1, so that we're right in. Actually, self.x minus 1, since we want to move a bit to the left. I'm going to change the hit width to be once again self.width. But instead of just leaving it at self.width, I'm going to add 2 to that, so that, our black, I don't know what you call it, the one which surrounds the health bar, we're going to have a, kind of battery-like thing. So that's going to be a little bit more than the rectangle length, so that it covers all the corners. Okay, so once you have this in place, you may think that's the end of the code, but it's not. Now, in addition to all of this, we want to make sure that the black rectangle is transparent. Okay, and to do that, you have to declare an optional thickness parameter. And in this case, you can also call it width, but thickness is just easier to understand. So in this case, I'm going to say 5. Okay, and this is going to be our entire surrounding black rectangle, if that's what you want to call it. Alright, so now I'm going to run my program, and I'll let you see for yourself what that code is. Alright, so there we go, and now you can see that entire health bar pop up, and the black one still hasn't popped up, but I think that's probably because I didn't change the color yet. So I'm going to change that to be black, and yep, now let's run the code. So I'm going to say run. And here we go. I'm going to press the A key, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is our health bar. Now obviously that isn't the best looking health bar, but that's pretty great for the amount of time it took us to make, which was, just 3 rectangles. So that's pretty simple, and I'm going to leave it at that. Next, I'm going to say self.width is equal to starfighter.width. Okay, so everything is going to be the same dimensions as the starfighter, and yep, starfighter.width. Alright, and finally I'm going to say self.height is equal to starfighter.height. And yep, that is pretty much all you'll need as your parameters within your dimensions. So now we have to have in the image, and as you can see on my left, I have all the explosions set up from explosion 1 to explosion 9. And yep, so I'm just going to loop through them in terms of an explosion. Okay, so I'm going to say self.image is equal to explosion1.png. So I'm going to say p.image.load, and I'm going to follow that up with, within quotes, explosion1.png. I think we've done this earlier, so nothing special yet. So explosion1.png. Alright, this is going to be our image, and our image is going to be much larger than what we need it to. So based on its width and height, we need to resize it. I'm going to say self.image is equal to p.transform.scale, and I'm going to follow this up by saying self.image, which is our surface, and follow that up once again by width is self.width and height is self.height. Alright, and that is pretty much all you need. This is going to resize your image, and now you're going to have the image the right size. Lastly, you just need to have another self.visible parameter, just like our starfighter. So self.visible initially is going to be false. So set it to false, and yep, that is all you need in your def init function. Now the next function is going to be something called a def animate. So this is what's going to happen when the starfighter is touched by a zombie. It doesn't necessarily just animate the explosion. It could also just decrease its health. And that's what we'll be doing now. So def animate self, and now a simple if else condition. If the starfighter's health is 0, so starfighter dot health is equal to 0. In this case, well, we are going to animate the entire thing. I'm just going to pass it for now. And if this is not the case, if the starfighter's health is not 0, then all I'm going to say is starfighter dot health. I don't know why I keep saying starfighter dot health minus equal 1. Alright, so very simple code. And now in addition to that, I'm going to scroll up here, And instead of just passing, obviously we don't want to do that. I'm going to set a variable called costume, which is going to be 1. Okay, and now I'm going to loop through. I'm going to say while costume is less than 10. Okay, so while costume is less than 10, so it's going to loop through until costume is equal to 9. And as you can see here, we have 9 explosion images, so that's going to work well. So while costume is less than 10, we're going to be setting self.image to be p.image.load, and I'm going to follow this up with this. Okay, I'm going to say costume, no, not costume, explosion within quotes. Okay, dot not explosion, it's just explosion plus, so we're going to concatenate strings here, string of costume, and I'm going to say added string concatenated with this would be dot png. So this is going to be our particular image which we need, and yep, it's going to return the image, and we probably have it resized, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it once again. So I'm going to copy this line of code here and put it after this. There we go. Now I'm going to set starfighter.visible to be false, and yep, after you're done with that, you can set up your redraw window function to work according to this. We haven't done it yet, but we will get into that. So redraw game screen, and after this, once again, I'm going to be setting starfighters, going to starfighters, the starfighters x and y position. So self.x equals starfighter.x, and self.y is equal to starfighter.y. all right, and those two things are I think pretty important. You will have to add those things in. Now we can draw onto the screen. So I'm going to say win dot, and yep, win dot blit is here we're going to type in, you know, self.image, follow that up by within a tuple self.x and self.y, all familiar stuff. And after this, once again, it's time to update the screen. So I'm going to say, actually before that, I'm going to, you know, increment the costume, and I'm going to say costume plus is equal to 1. And now let's update. So pygame dot display dot update, and I'm going to follow, not update, update, and I'm going to follow this up by a small wait lag. So I'm going to say time dot sleep, and I'm going to sleep for 0.05 seconds. Okay, and you need to enter in seconds in terms time in terms of seconds, so that's 0.05. Now I'm going to scroll down below to the redraw game screen function, and I'm going to blit all this only if the starfighter is visible. So if starfighter.visible, and we don't even have to type in is equal to true or false, we can just type in if starfighter.visible. Alright, and if the starfighter is visible, this is going to be true, so it's a boolean. So we can just say if starfighter.visible. I'm going to basically tab in all of this so that these things happen only if the starfighter is visible. Alright, and that is pretty much all you will need. And I'm going to stop this video right here. I know you haven't really seen some kind of output just as yet, but hold on, because in the next video we'll be covering a whole lot more, and we should be finishing off the entire series in the next couple of videos. So please make sure you stay tuned. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a like, and also don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.